I came up with a new segment before you got on the show.
All right, what's it called?
It's an Ebro segment.
I love this.
Ready?
Okay.
Yeah,
It's called Ebro Sent.
I like it.
It's a news segment.
I love this.
And
is
it's
perfect.
called Ebro Sent because
I just send stuff.
You send a lot of and you can't describe it all as news. Some of it is news.
That's right.
Some of it's opinion. Some of it Ebro thinks is the most important thing he's ever seen. It's like when my dad sends me a clip and I look at it and I go, okay. But some of it you're like, wow, this was revelatory. So I like this.
No. But I just throw stuff in the machine, man. I'm looking for. And
Need
by the
audio.
way, this isn't new. How long have I been doing this? I just throw stuff. I grab stuff. I'm active.
Ebro Sent.
There we go. Here's something I sent.
Tell me
Go
the
to
number.
audio number 2.
Audio number 2.
This is Stephen Miller.
We're going to run.
Oh, Stephen Miller.
This is Stephen
That
Miller.
is true. The United States of America is running Venezuela. By definition, that's true. Jake, we live in a world in which you can talk all you want about international niceties and everything else. But we live in a world, in the real world, Jake, that is governed by strength, that is governed by force, that is governed by power. By definition, we are in charge because we have the United States military stationed outside the country. We set the terms and conditions. We have a complete embargo on all of their oil and their ability to do commerce. So for them to do commerce, they need our permission. For them to be able to run an economy, they need our permission. So the United States is in charge. The United States is running the country during this transition period. The United States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. We're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower. It is absurd that we would allow a nation in our own backyard to become the supplier of resources to our adversaries, but not to us, to hoard weapons from our adversaries, to be able to be positioned as an asset against the United States rather than on behalf of the United States.
Sovereign countries shouldn't be able to do what they want to do.
The Monroe Doctrine and the Trump Doctrine.
He just ignored that. He went, sovereign countries shouldn't be allowed to do what they want to do, and it completely blew up.
And guys, the reason I sent this audio yesterday is because what Stephen Miller is saying out loud is the way many people in power in the United States have felt for the history of the United States. The number of countries that the United States has either through the CIA and destabilized and taken advantage of, or allowed corporations to go into countries and use military to support corporations, or just sit in the military, like the Marines going into Haiti in what was that, 1916, I believe it was. This has been happening. And unless you capitulate to what the United States wants and how they want you to conduct business, this is the story of the United States.
Yes.
Now, whether you like it, no, just in history. Now, whether you like it or not, or support it or not, is the next part of the conversation.
But not all. Yes, you're right. The country does generally govern itself that way. They do. The country does generally act in that way to some degree, but not all leaders and not all people believe that the country should operate that way.
No. I agree with you. I'm saying the same thing you are. Also, it should be noted, once again, we've said it many times, Maduro and Chavez were not successful financially in running Venezuela. It is not doing good financially. The story goes that the corporations from the United States that were down there setting up the oil, they wanted them out. And because the U.S. put economic embargoes on the country of Venezuela, and we're not buying oil, and Venezuela would not allow oil to be sold to the United States, they were selling to Russia and China and others. And so what Stephen Miller is saying right there is a fact. The United States is like, yo, you can't have all that oil in our backyard and then sell it to people we don't want you to sell it to, or people we don't like, without us having some say-so.
Right. That's ours.
We're taking it, whether you like it or not.
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, this is what we do. But as a concept, what Stephen Miller is talking about, and this fits in with everything we know he believes and says, is supremacy. This is world supremacy. This is white supremacy. This is we are better than you.
That's right.
This isn't the idea that a lot of, U.S., I won't say a lot of U.S. administrations, but at least a handful have seen the U.S. as, which is we are there to do business with other countries. We are there to uplift other places. We are there to help people. We are not there to run roughshod over the world.
Well, some people would say that anybody that says that, they're liars, because that's never been the case.
You mean the actions don't show that?
The history does not support that marketing statement you just had.
Yes, to some degree, in every administration, you will see pieces of it, but it varies how much you see it.
Well, and some people would say, and listen, I disagree with it vehemently. I'm just let's just say it based on facts. We got to stop dreaming, guys. Because right now we're having this conversation. Where are Democrats? Who's saying what? You're hearing from no one.
It's not loud. Democrats are not loud enough. They are never. Gavin Newsom has been the only one who's been loud.
The same oil companies are benefiting those people at the federal level who are Democrats. They're making money on this. They are buying stock in this.
But are you saying that at this moment there aren't Democrats saying anything about the Venezuela thing?
No, there are. It's just not loud.
It's not loud enough.
It's not loud. It doesn't really seem to be they're trying to stop this from happening.
And it's usually the same, the ones that always speak out.
Well, and Laura, Maduro lost the election and would not leave.
Yes. We could all agree. He was a horrible person.
Democrats don't support him either.
Yeah.
But weren't willing to do what Trump just did.
The funny thing is, though, but again, I mentioned this again, whenever Trump himself even shows off about what they did, he never talks about we got a bad guy who was bad for the Venezuelan people. He doesn't even say that. He says it's the oil. We got the oil. Like that's the part I at least like about the Republicans. They don't even give you. They think their marketing campaign is better, which is like, no, we're doing this for money.
Yes,
we are getting the oil.
It is better. Clearly, it is better for their constituents.
Yeah, I think
they're happy with that. Yes.
Yeah, they go, okay, cool. Because there are some people who go, I understand that, but we shouldn't really be going into other quote unquote sovereign nations and literally kidnapping their president and installing our own people.
But we always have, using the CIA, using covert operations. It hasn't been this on full display unless you're talking about Iraq, where we lied about weapons of mass destruction. And first it was knowing that it was Saudis who were involved in 9/11, but then pivoted and said Saddam has weapons of mass destruction.
We got to go to Iraq.
And we got to go to a whole other place.
Yeah. Even then, they told a story at least. They came up with a whole story. And we all knew it was nonsense. But they had a story. Trump doesn't even really do a story.
No, the story is we're getting that oil.
Yeah.
That's the story.
And the funny part is watching the other Republicans say it's not about the oil. And then Trump and Hegseth are like, no, we need the oil.
Of course it is.
I want to shout out Isaac Hayes III. We didn't give him credit on that Stephen Miller audio. We yanked that from his Instagram account. And speaking of yanking things from an Instagram account, before we get into Laura's rundown, I want to shout out, I think his name is Brian. Brian Baez is his name, but Mentally Divine Official.
Oh, yeah.
Audio number 5, Rosenberg. This is a piece that he put up yesterday about Zohran Mamdani's executive orders in New York City.
Wait, hold on. Where the hell's my Zohran? I had this one from yesterday. Let me see if this
is. It wasn't just Johnny Culture, Laura Styles. We're still inflicted with whatever
it's not this Zohran, just to be clear, it's not this.
We will.
No, that's Jadakiss. Let me give me 30 seconds.
Oh, this guy's not prepared.
I already did it. I don't know what I did, but real quick while I'm pulling this up. Oh, there it is, audio 5. Before we hit that, because there was something related to Republicans and Democrats I wanted to mention to you.
Yes.
I can't tell you how hot I was yesterday to see all the right wingers mocking the Democrats for commemorating January 6th. I don't know if you saw that at all.
No, I didn't see that.
I did not. I saw Proud Boys. I saw somebody put up a clip of Proud Boys, marching somewhere, maybe in D.C. or something.
Wait, Ebro, are Proud Boys or the January 6ers, are they asking for reparations? Did I see that?
No, that's been a thing for a long time. That they want financial compensation for their pain and suffering.
Yeah, I've seen that, and so the Democrats did a little bit of like a vigil yesterday, and it's just amazing to me to see patriots, supposed patriots, people like Clay Travis. They'll like post it and talk about how performative and fake it is and how embarrassing it is that they even talk about this.
Yes.
They took, if any other group showed up and took a doo-doo on the Capitol, you'd go, oh, that's fine. I take no issue with that.
No. If any other group that, whether it was black people, Asian people, Hispanic people, South Asian people, Southeast Asian people.
What would have happened?
They would have had guns drawn so fast if mass amounts of people were even approaching those doors.
Of course.
Let alone climbing up scaffolding and attacking the front doors. I've been, you know how many marches I have been to in D.C.? Where they have snipers on the top of buildings and people are just gathered in the mall there.
Just to protest.
Just speeches happening. Speeches happening on the National Mall. Like where Dr. King gave his speech. I've been to Million Man March there twice. I've been to, it wasn't the Women's March, but it was a march after the Women's March.
Okay.
Snipers on buildings.
Well, they didn't have any issue with this group. And now, apparently, these right-wingers, they'll talk to you about the Black Lives Matter protest. They're very upset about people in Los Angeles damaging like a Gucci store. That really bothers them. Well, damaging the Capitol means nothing to them. They do not care. These great patriots. Anyways, Ebro, here is your
all right, let's go.
Zohran.
Executive Order Number 9 was specific to combating hidden junk fees. It is meant to aggressively crack down on companies who mislead New Yorkers into paying more for services. And it will establish a citywide junk fee task force and strengthen the New York Department of Consumer and Worker Protection to monitor compliance, investigate potential violations, and crack down on deceptive business practices to the fullest extent of the law. Executive Order Number 10 is specific to fighting subscription tricks and traps. Because businesses use deceptive practices to trap customers in unwanted subscriptions, like having free trials that automatically convert into paid plans without telling the person that's paying, or adding monthly fees and add-on charges after payment information has already been collected, or disguising subscriptions as one-time purchases, and making cancellations intentionally difficult by forcing people to call during limited hours, making people remember or reset login credentials, or navigate multiple screens before you can actually cancel. And with an executive order, he just put an end to that. This is what happens when you elect someone who's not bought by corporate interests. Mamdani walked in the door and immediately started putting money back into New Yorkers' pockets. And that's the real power move, because when people see that government actually works for them, they stop accepting the bullshit. That's how you shift the entire game. You prove it's possible, and suddenly people everywhere start asking, why isn't my city doing this?
I
there
hope
you
that's
go.
Can I say one thing? I'm obsessed with the junk fee thing. Every time I've ever read about it, I'm so angered and disgusted by it. I couldn't gauge. It's a nice executive order. I love that he did it.
All right.
I don't know that this does anything to actually affect these junk fees.
So I read an article that said, junk fees annually could tally up, depending on obviously how many subscriptions you had, but the average price in the United States is between like $500 and $800 a year.
That we're all spending on it.
That we're getting looped into a little this and a little that, and a subscription you forgot you had, and
Yo, you know who's gonna be super tight? Gyms.
Gyms are gonna be tight.
Bro, do you know how hard it is? Well, I don't know how it is right now, but I have been with unnamed gyms that gave me, when I tell you the runaround to try to cancel my subscription, nuts.
No,
my
it's
membership.
impossible. It's impossible.
Well, I haven't even told you guys, and I'm not going to get into details because I'm trying to work it out. A, because I'm really embarrassed by it, and B, because I'm still working on it.
Okay.
I had something like that happen at a gym that I was just alerted to, where I lost thousands of dollars. I have not set thousands. I lost a couple of $1,000s. I have not set foot into the place. I thought I canceled. I guess I was suspended. And post-suspension, it was reinstated. And without setting foot into this place again,
God.
and the only emails you ever get go to spam, And they don't tell you like, hey, you haven't been here. That's not what happens. All you get is the regular spam of like,
yeah, of course.
Like we get, guys, how many different things do we get spam from that we used to be a
crazy.
part of that we're
They
not
don't
a part
care.
of?
They
So
want to juice you, bro.
I'm like, wait, at a certain point in this country, the onus is never on the gym or whatever the place is to say, hey, we notice you haven't set foot in here in a long time.
No, they're just
No, why
taking
would
your money,
they?
bro, and they're allowed to. So even if these Mamdani, you're saying you don't think they do
I just don't know how it works locally. How can we really locally impact these things that are national companies?
No. Usually what ends up happening is you have someone at the city level who's willing to take on holding these companies accountable, almost like a local consumer bureau.
So I'm sure people will be able to like report things.
Well, and then the city can bring people together and say, hey, all of these people who live in this jurisdiction, this geo, are saying that this company is committing a crime that goes against the city's policies.
Right.
And then the city can take The city can then take aim at the place and say, if you
I
don't do
understand
right.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the way I understand it.
It is interesting, though, that no one talked about that executive order, which everyone would agree with.
It seems like it.
Like, who wants to and when they and we only played like half the clip there. When that guy gets into all the other numbers,
That's
from
mentally
junk
divine
fees,
official, sir.
mentally divine official.
Great guy.
When he gets into the different kinds of junk fees and different businesses and how high they are in the ticket industry.
Oh no, it's crazy.
That part right there is, whew.
You buy tickets to a concert, they're just those little fees they're throwing on underneath. Oh, I love convenience fees.
What is that?
Well, they made it easy for you, so it costs you money.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's so convenient what you've done. So no, that's a dope thing to see. That's the kind of stuff we really do expect from him. I love seeing that out of the gate from Mamdani.